Welcome, everyone, to this full moon ceremony tonight. Before we begin, I'd like to wish you from my heart to your heart a blessed holiday season, however you choose to experience it or um, go through your day with it. My prayer for you is that you can walk through these busy days with a feeling of ease and gentleness and wonder that these are holy, holy days. And if we can remember that, it might take away some of the busyness and the distractions that we sometimes use to get through this season. I know this may not be a happy season for some of you. And so I'm hoping that you can keep the image in your mind of this being a time to welcome the light into your heart. Some people call it the light of the Christ, the light of the soul. And even if it's just a tiny little bit of light, our world so needs that right now. So I think if we can keep our focus on that instead of all the extraneous stuff and not get caught up in the busyness, um, that we will be helping to heal the world. So that's my prayer for all of you during this holiday season. This month, we welcome the sun in the sign of Sagittarius and the moon in its opposite sign, Gemini. So this month, we're asked to balance the fiery energy of Sagittarius with the mental air sign of Gemini. So you might say that our thoughts will be on fire, energetically speaking. The Buddha said this about our thinking minds. The thought manifests as the word. The word manifests as the deed. The deed develops into habit, and habit hardens into character. So watch the thoughts and their ways with care, and let them spring from love, born out of compassion for all beings. As the shadow follows the body, as we think, so we become. So this will be an especially important reminder this month, as Gemini is playing such a dominant role in the sky. Albert Einstein is quoted as saying, "The world as we have created it is a process of our thinking. It cannot be changed without changing our thinking. It is our responsibility to control our thought, and through our focus on the good, the true, and the beautiful, on the thought of the emerging goodwill of the majority, we create a world that is exactly that, because as we all know, energy follows thought." A sobering thought in itself. Before we begin our talk on Sagittarius and Gemini, let me just say how grateful I am that you all gave yourselves the gift of this time to be in the silence with me. With the busyness of the holiday season, it's sometimes difficult to find quiet moments. So I am grateful for your presence. We will also be celebrating the winter solstice tonight, the longest night of the year. And Jan Richardson has a wonderful poem about this called Blessing for the Longest Night. All throughout these months, as the shadows have lengthened, this blessing has been gathering itself, making ready, preparing for this solstice night. It has practiced walking in the dark, traveling with its eyes closed, feeling its way by memory, by touch, by the pull of the moon, even as it wanes. So believe me when I tell you, this blessing will reach you, even if you have not light enough to read it. It will find you, even though you cannot see it coming. You will know the moment of its arriving. by your release of the breath you have held on to so long, a loosening of the clenching in your hands, of the clutch around your heart, a thinning of the darkness that has drawn itself around you. This blessing does not mean to take the night away, but it knows its hidden roads, knows the resting spots along the path, knows what it means to travel in the company of a friend. So when this blessing comes, take its hand, get up, set out on the road you cannot see. This is the night where you can trust that any direction you go will be walking toward the dawn. I love that. So we'll be talking about the solstice a bit more later on, but let's now talk about what's happening right now. I think we can safely say that we're in a cycle of chaos and violence and uncertainty, but let us remember that it's just a cycle. Life, creation, both personal and cosmic, expands and contracts, ebbs and flows, like our in-breath and out-breath. Life is cyclical, and even the cycles exist within greater cycles. In the depths of ourselves, we are aware of the constant process of change. Our dilemma is that as humans, we are dense spirit embedded in matter. Part of us wants to hang on, but our spirit chooses to bring light, expansion, evolution. In our souls, we know that we possess will and choice and are in eternal cyclic process. On our involutionary journey, uniting in loving relationship with our bodies and the earth, we easily forget that we are an eternal process, a gift to ourselves and to creation as we widen and enlarge the cycle of life. Sagittarius governs human evolution, symbolizing progress toward conscious goals. Like the glyph for this sign, the arrow of aspiration is flung into the cosmos. Teilhard de Chardin wrote that consciousness can advance, but not retreat. From each new summit of consciousness that it reaches, the world never again descends. Life having once appeared in matter, the cosmos can never afterwards become devitalized. So I find it very reassuring to know that evolution never moves backward. No matter the little dips into unconsciousness that we are experiencing now, we will always move forward. As a fire sign, Sagittarius is on a quest for the truth. His fire energy urges him on endlessly. He seeks, he perceives the energy to expand and grow, to explore the contours of his mind and the world. He learns to direct his fiery energy toward his goal. He learns to focus, to become one-pointed, and then he is able to transform all dualities into harmony. Gemini, on the other hand, tends to listen, to think, to communicate and learn from others, and thus distributes his energy to create right relationship. The air sign Gemini is comfortable with cycles. Ruled by Mercury, the energetic traveler and messenger, Gemini's purpose is to be curious, to learn, to inform and extend its energies into the environment, to breathe into the world. With Mercury as its ruler, Gemini is learning to live in two worlds, the world of dense matter and the world of lighter spirit. The work of gathering experience, engaging in relationship, expanding vistas, is to allow the human Gemini to perceive the realms of mind and heart, enabling a connection with the soul. Soul is the way through which spirit becomes matter, and matter become spirit. The soul stands in the middle. It is the middle way. Alan Oken writes in Soul-Centered Astrology, Gemini's soul ruler, Venus, assists in the harmonizing of dualities. Venus's energy works with Mercury's energy to create loving thought and harmony. Tuning into these energies, Gemini hears the message of heart and soul. As Gemini is thinking, fiery Sagittarius is aspiring. I see the goal, I reach the goal, and see another. Ruled by expansive, optimistic Jupiter, bringing in the second ray of love and wisdom, Sagittarius is never content to rest upon his achievements. It feels the impetus of evolution at all levels, driven by the energy of life, the energy of desire to discover, create, to enlarge. Just as Gemini learns to listen, Sagittarius learns to focus and refine its goals. With every combination of planets, we have the ultimate challenge to blend and integrate the energies, and thus bring harmony and peace to ourselves and the world. But freedom from conflict isn't peace. Peace is an intention, an attitude, an inner quiet, a transcendent view, and an open heart. O Lord of love and light, come forth and rule the world. May the Prince of Peace appear and end the warring of the nations. May the reign of light and love and justice be begun. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with us. Sagittarius, as we've said, is a fire sign, full of energy, passion, enthusiasm. It's also idealistic and visionary. If we think of these qualities and imagine them being used at their highest vibration within us, what would that look like? One possibility is that we commit to single-mindedly holding in our thoughts a vision of a world at peace, with people cooperating in brotherhood and sisterhood, recognizing the divinity within each person, uniting to create a better world. We could energetically and passionately direct our emotions to expanding our hearts, releasing our fears, and strengthening our belief that a larger plan is operating. And that is what is outpicturing. We can affirm that help is available to us from the great ones, but we must ask. There is a spiritual law called the law of invocation and evocation. This law states that this planet is a free will planet, meaning that the great ones will not interfere in our evolutionary process, but they can pour forth their aid if we ask. And we are promised that whatever we invoke with a spiritual intent will stimulate a response. This invocative appeal is strengthened when we join together with a united intention. The appeal acts as a magnet, drawing the energies downward from the spiritual dimensions. The stronger the appeal, the greater the downpouring. By the same token, when we join with other people of goodwill throughout the planet to evoke the great ones, we can use this energy to vitalize our vision, to strengthen it. We can create a thought form of a world at peace, and that thought form will eventually manifest. We must hold it in our consciousness, ask that it be infused and energized by the spiritual realms, and then hold that vision in our minds, give it our passionate energy, and then take some action, however small, to help manifest it in the world. It will have an impact. Another thing we can do is to invoke the great ones to protect and bless our planet during these critical times. What we see in the world today are the forces of darkness, those forces whose consciousness is one of materialism, those forces who are fighting against humanity's evolution. How do we deal with that? By invoking the light, by asking the forces of light to descend upon the earth. We have so much help available, but we have to ask. We can ask that a protective shield of light be placed around our earth, a shield that will dispel the darkness. This is a critical time in our planetary history. We are told in the ancient wisdom teachings that humanity is on the verge of taking the first initiation, which means a huge expansion of consciousness for all of humanity. We must use our energy to help bring this about. The years up to 2025 this year have been called the years of the burning ground, where the chaos is likely to increase. But there is a purpose to the chaos. It is to bring about the destruction of the old forms that are no longer useful, and to clear out the old thought forms that obstruct our forward movement. This is to clear the way for the coming Aquarian age, which we are told is to manifest fully sometime in the next 200 to 300 years. So only 2 or 3 more lifetimes, right? Before we can manifest the higher vision for our world, however, we must begin with ourselves. Now is the time to mobilize our efforts, to commit to expanding the light within ourselves, first of all, dedicate ourselves anew to our spiritual practices, to be mindful of our thoughts, and to hold on to a vision of a redeemed humanity. This is the time to control our emotional bodies, holding everything and everyone in compassion. This is not a time to succumb to fear. Perfect love casts out fear, the Bible tells us. Aligning ourselves with people of goodwill everywhere in our meditations can have a powerful effect on the healing of the world. This energy is subjective, but with a strong intention to align, it can be as powerful as meeting in person. When the masses of humanity raise their voices in a united invocative appeal, we give power to the great ones to impress upon the world leaders the higher principles. Excuse me. We are told in the ancient wisdom teachings that during the Second World War, it was the invocative power of humanity that allowed the great ones, the masters, to impress upon the minds of the scientists of that time the right formula for the discovery of atomic energy and the splitting of the atom. And they deflected this information away from the forces of darkness. In the book, The Externalization of the Hierarchy by Alice Bailey, we are told, quote, "The Second World War was not won by the surrender of the German army. That was only the outer result of inner happenings. The war was won by the forces of light, when the mental potency of the forces of evil was overcome by those who were seeking the higher human values and the spiritual good of humankind," end quote. So we have this power to invoke the forces of light and to use those forces to create a more just and perfect world. One of the stanzas of the Great Invocation is invocative of these forces of light. It was given out to the general public in 1940 by the Tibetan master Dwal Kul. "Let the lords of liberation issue forth. Let them bring succor to all of humanity. Let the rider from the secret place come forth, and coming, save. Come forth, O mighty one. Let the souls of humanity awaken to the light. And may they stand with massed intent Let the fiat of the Lord go forth. The end of woe has come. Come forth, O mighty one. The hour of service of the saving force has now arrived. Let it be spread abroad, O mighty one. Let light and love and power and death fulfill the purpose of the coming one. The will to save is here. The love to carry forth the work is widely spread abroad. The active aid of all who know the truth is also here. Come forth, O mighty one, and blend these three. Construct a great defending wall. The rule of evil now must end. It's pretty powerful. As light workers, therefore, our task is not to let the negativity of the times overcome us, to see to it that we are not drawn into the vortex of fears and of pessimism which surrounds us. I believe that the heart of humanity is sound, and out of the present chaos, and perhaps largely because of it, there will emerge those competent to deal with the situation and adequate to the task of unification and synthesis. A few more words about Sagittarius. There's a concept of silence that's descriptive of the Sagittarian energy. We've explored this before, but I like to remember it when we enter the holiday season. One of the keynotes for Sagittarius is harmlessness. In the ancient mystery schools, Sagittarius was called the sign of silence because the potential for destruction was so great. The discipline became the practice of silence. We're moving into the holiday season now, and I wonder if you can imagine how different your holidays would be if silence was our keynote. Imagine bringing this quality into your daily life this busy holiday season. This quality of inner calm, equilibrium, and balance. We can call upon the discipline and dedication of the Sagittarian energy to help us become harmless in thought, word, and deed. But how can we silence the busy mental energy of Gemini? One thing we can do is to practice mindfulness. Be mindful of our thoughts. Watch them. Notice them. This takes awareness and serious intention. But once we become aware, we can then make a choice about how long we want to live with any destructive thoughts and how we can change our mental state to something more illuminating and uplifting. So when we catch ourselves mentally obsessing or wandering into a dreamy state or a negative loop, we can engage our awareness and make a different choice. We can invoke our discerning minds to notice, is this thought illuminating? Is it even true? Or is it just the ego rambling on and expressing its opinion? We can't control every thought that comes into our minds, but again, once we become aware of our thoughts, we have that choice. Do I want to stay here in this negative loop, obsessing? Or do I want to pause and think of a more illuminating thought? We can shift the energy and thus raise our vibration. So the questions I'd like you to ponder during this holiday season are, what kind of energy do you wish to bring into this holiday season? Do you want to feel joy, excitement, contentment? And what can you do to feel that way? Maybe you crave the silence, the stillness. What would it take to bring that into the holidays? Can you imagine walking through this holiday season with an inner stillness, knowing that all will be well and everything that needs to get done will get done? Can you walk through this holiday with discernment, choosing to focus only on those things that are most important to you, that bring you the most joy, that raise your vibration up to the highest that is possible for you? In this way, you become a healing force in the world. Let us shift now to talk just a little bit about the solstice. I would like to acknowledge a woman, Linda Garrett, for sharing some of the thoughts below that I want to bring to you now. Quote, as these holidays come upon us, many of us begin to get stressed out, running around, trying to fulfill someone's expectations that may be ingrained in us without really stopping to consider the deeper meaning of this sacred time. Because remember, these holidays are really holy days, a time to celebrate and honor the light within. This light within could be defined in many ways, but I like to think of it as the light of the soul or the light of the Christ consciousness that burns within each of us. This Christ consciousness is present within every human being and is at the heart of all spiritual traditions. The Master Jesus embodied and expressed this light to such a high degree that we honor the message of love and goodwill that he so clearly enunciated 2,000 years ago. But his life is not the exception. He demonstrated the pattern and the goal we will all reach at some point in our spiritual journey. End quote. At least this is my view. You may or may not see it that way, which is fine. But I do think that part of our work as spiritual seekers is to prepare ourselves for the many changes that are taking place at this important time by doing what we can to embody more fully this Christ-like within. We see the chaos and uncertainty all around us, yet in the midst of this chaos and darkness, many perceive a stronger, greater force of light and goodness emerging as well. How can we kindle this light that wants to shine so brightly within each of us? This is the very essence of the winter solstice. It is the longest night of the year, the time of greatest darkness in our world. Yet the solstice period has traditionally been a time of honoring the light. The ancients saw it as a time to honor the birth of the sun gods, while Christians have celebrated the birth of Jesus during this solstice week. The theme of the birth of light in the midst of darkness has been a central part of solstice traditions throughout the ages. Haven't you found in your own life that some of your greatest opportunities for transformation came when you faced the darkness? You let the light in by cleansing the darkness. When we face down our darkness, our own selfishness, our pettiness, our preoccupation with ourselves, then our lives are uplifted and changed forever. Of course, it's human to want to walk away from our darkness, but if we are to live and love fully, boldly, fearlessly, then we must turn toward the darkness and walk straight into it, trusting that the light within will guide our way and give us the strength and wisdom to overcome all obstacles. And this is a poem from the website Rebel Girl, a poem called Job. What if every day you took on the darkness like it was your job? You picked it up, spun it around, cracked it over your knee until the light burst out of it. What if you hunted for darkness each day as if on a mission to change the world and did just that? You, spinning darkness into gold. What if we all did that until there was no darkness left? Not one bit. Would you be up for the job? What if you found yourself excited by the thought of encountering darkness and cracking its spine until we were blinded by the light? Are you up for it? Are you? End quote. And then I'm sorry, but I love poetry, so I'm going to go on with one more from Jan Richardson called Blessed Are You Who Bear the Light. Blessed are you who bear the light in unbearable times, who testify to its endurance amid the unendurable, who bear witness to its persistence when everything seems in shadow and grief. Blessed are you in whom the light lives, in whom the brightness blazes, your heart a chapel, an altar where in the deepest night can be seen the fire that shines forth in you, in unaccountable faith, in stubborn hope, in love that illumines every broken thing it finds. So one of our jobs this month is to envision clearly what is possible for our nation. Let us hold this image steadfastly in our minds, and let us not waver. We are powerful beyond imagining when we use the power of our higher mind to create the world we wish to see. And we are not alone in this. We can invoke the aid of the great ones, the masters who have gone before us and who oversee our evolutionary journey. We can align with these forces of light to create a downpouring of love, light, and power into our planet. Let us be dedicated to this purpose, to be conduits for the manifestation of light in our world. And this is from David Spangler. May we know the light that is eternally within us. May we be that light in the world. May we know the light within all the life around us. May we serve that light that all may thrive. May we know the light that yet seeks to unfold. May we be its unfolding, that our tomorrows may be blessed. May light be present in who we are, where we are, and in all that we do. May we celebrate the presence of light. So let us prepare now for our meditation. To begin our meditation, please find yourself in a comfortable position with the spine relatively erect, but with no undue strain or tension. Now take a moment to settle into yourself. Begin breathing evenly to quiet the system. Establish a sense of readiness within. And take a moment to feel the stillness that is created by this process. And now imagine the light of the soul shining as a ball of light above your head. See that light descend into your body. See it connect to each chakra as it moves downward into the earth. In the center of the earth, the energy of the heavens align with the energies of the earth. Feel this alignment within your body. Heaven and earth aligned within you. Now let us reach even higher. Let us send our energy up into the home of the great ones, the masters. Ask to be connected to the spiritual realms where they reside. Ask to be connected to them. We have been told that the head of this hierarchy of masters, called the Christ, has promised that whatsoever we ask in his name shall be accomplished. So let us ask for the forces of light to descend on our planet. See in your mind's eye this energy descend and flood our planet with light. Imagine this energy magnetizing the will to good within the hearts of people everywhere. Let us ask the great ones to impress upon the leaders in our country those great ideals and ideas that are based on a worldview of inclusivity and cooperation. Let the vision of brotherhood and sisterhood be realized. Let us hold a vision of a world at peace, of a world where resources are shared and where we recognize the divinity within everyone. Let us call forth the forces of light to create a great unifying, protective, and defending wall of light around our planet, magnifying the good and dispelling all negativity and evil from within and without. Finally, let us visualize the Christ, the head of the hierarchy of masters, in the center of our planet, radiating forth love, compassion, and blessing on all the world. Let us work in this way, aligning ourselves with the forces supporting the evolution of humanity. Let us work without fear. Let us remember that this is why we chose to incarnate at this time, to become beacons of light to our world as it goes through this transition into a new age. I'd like to close with this prayer to the Great Mother. Holy Mother, we come to you in prayer. We come to you seeking the light, seeking illumination, seeking to expand our heart's capacity to hold the light. We ask that you bless us with your holy love, that you open our hearts to receive your blessing. Holy One, Blessed One, be here with us during this holiday season. May we keep our hearts open to everyone around us. Fill us with your compassion, your forgiveness, your grace, that we may walk serenely through these days. We surrender our agenda, our expectations, others' expectations to you, Holy Mother, that you may bless them and help us to release them. Pour down your blessings upon our suffering world, Holy One, that humankind may see with new eyes and open their hearts to your compassion and love. Blessed be.